And we are live. Let me make sure everything's all good to go. Let's get some housekeeping out the way. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Look at Moy. Moy already starting off on the right track. Moy already starting off on the right track for the Dominican Coffee Fund. Shouts out to Moy, man. You know what, Moy? I have to get me some Dominican coffee this weekend. Right? I have to get me some Dominican coffee this weekend, and I'm definitely gonna let you know how it tastes. All right, so my volume is good. Let's see. Gotta make sure gotta make sure everything working properly. Okay, we all good to go. Once you come into the chat, go ahead and something is repeating me. Something is on. Where am I getting a little feedback from? I'm getting feedback from somewhere. Is that my phone? Let's see. I don't know why it's feeding back like that. Shouldn't be feeding back like that. But anyway, I guess we'll deal with it as long as the volume good for you guys. As long as the volume good for you guys, I guess we all good. But once you come in, type into the chat. Tap into the chat. What's going on? What's going on? What's up with y'all guys? What's up? What's going on, Nick? Moy says he is ready to rumble. Letter to the flock says we good. Okay, we good. I guess I just hear it on my end. I hear it on my end. But anyway, as y'all seen from the title, man, this is gonna be a lit stream. Shouts out to Moy, already starting off good, donating to the chat. But what's going on with y'all guys? How y'all night going? Right? How was y'all's what's the day? Tuesday? How was y'all's Monday? How was y'all Tuesday? Right? We almost at a hump day. So you ninjas, you can take off. You tired, for you ninjas who've been out there working at least. But for you other broke ninjas, I don't, you still working 3 days at Wally World, Family Dollar ass ninjas. I don't know what to tell you. Right? I don't know what to tell you, but man, we're gonna have a great stream. This is gonna be a very important stream. I don't know. I may put this on the member side because I have a lot of things to, discuss with this. I may even throw in some blue chips with this, but man, it's getting drastic out here, man. We're gonna let some more people come in here. We're gonna let some more people come in here. Drunk Monk tapping in. What's going on? What is going on, Drunk Monk? But yeah, it's getting bad out here. The replay is gonna go crazy. So for you guys who may have right, for you guys who come in late, make sure you rewind, check out the playlist. The playlist is you tap on my channel, go down the playlist, you'll see live replays. Tap on live replays, and then you can rewind this, watch it at the gym, listen to it at the gym. You don't even have to watch it because I'm just sitting right here in front of the desk. You feel me? I'm just sitting right here in front of the desk, just sitting here talking. So you don't have to look at my pretty face. You can just listen to me. All right. John. Oh, Moya again. Moya tapping in. Moya, you got paid or something? Let me find out. Moya over there going to the gas station playing those scratch offs. Moya, I see you. Moy got in good with the scratch offs today. He donating today. Moy, shouts out to Moy, man. Drunk Monk, let's go help the homie Tap get more gear. We're all living for the love of the game and inspiration vibe. Let's go smash the like button, like and sub. Moy, it's all Moy. I may just shed a tear, Moy. I may just hold on, man. I may just shed a tear for this ninja right here, Moy. Moy, you know what? You know what? You all right with me, Moy. That's all love, Moy. That's for real. That's love right there. That's love right there. Shouts out to Moy, man. Shouts out to Moy. That's love right there. But yeah, we got to get it how we live out here because it's not looking so good. I'm gonna play an audio for you guys. I'm gonna play an audio for you guys. How many people we got in here? Yep, come in here and hit that like button. Um, come in here and hit that like button. Other people they'll come in, they'll come on in. People come in to church late all the time. Probably got a good 15 minutes before the chat is really filled up with people. Trolls. The trolls don't get in here till halfway through. They start coming in after YouTube and push me into the algorithm and all that stuff. But yeah, man, it's getting ugly out here, man. It's getting ugly out here. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news and seeing what's going on, but it's getting ugly out here, man. So listen, we're in shitty times right now, right? We're in shitty times right now. Inflation is up, right? Inflation is up. We're in a tariff war. The unemployment rate has increased. We're more so looking at runaway inflation, right? We really don't know where the economy is going, but we understand that the economy is definitely tanking, and I believe that this could be definitely 2008 all over again, or much worse. I believe this could possibly be much worse than the 2008 recession, right? Much worse, right? People are losing their jobs left and right. The government is cutting, they're cutting spending, so they're cutting government workers, they're cutting government, organizations and entities and things of that nature. Then you have the private sector doing the same thing. It's not looking so good for us, man. And let me play this audio. I'm gonna play this audio. What time? I guess phase right now. JC checking in. What's going on, man? Nick says, bro, I consider buying a home, but the thought of being in a 30-year trap stresses me the hell out. Listen, I already say, listen, this is my rule of thumb. And I was the one who also wanted to buy a house. When I came out here to Texas, that was my whole goal, to get into a home. But then I realized how screwed up everything is. I realized how messed up everything is, and Texas is not a place that I would just consider staying at, right? And you never know. I may not even want to you know set my grounds, in this country. I may want to go overseas somewhere and stay for a few months. Maybe I want to go to Miami and stay for a few months. Maybe I want to go to New York and stay for a few months. Maybe I want to go to Houston and stay for a few months. Maybe I come back to Dallas and where I want to stay a few months. Or maybe I go to Southeast Asia and I stay for 2 years. Like, I don't have time to be sitting up here, you know, I have a home to sit up here to be looking after, and make sure nobody is breaking into it, make sure squatters are not in there. It's a lot that comes with a home, and there's a lot of hidden costs. And if you guys didn't know, I told you guys I used to be a realtor. I used to be a realtor. I used to have my realtor's license. There's a lot of things that people do not know, and realtors are not going to tell you either, right? And sometimes either they know, they know this information, or sometimes they just ignorant of the fact, of all of this stuff too, because their sole job is just to sell you the home. They're not going through, they're not outlining the mortgage for you, right? Through the underlying cost with you. They're not going through the hidden cost of home. They're not going through any of that, right? They're not going through the increase in taxes, right? They're not going through any of that. Nothing. They just like, hey, you want to get in this home? All right, let's go ahead and buy this home. You want to sell this home? Okay, let's sell this home. That's the only job that they have. But me, I'm a nomad, man. I've already decided, and maybe when I get much older, and we're talking about 30, 40 years into the future, maybe once I get much older and, I don't feel like moving around so much, then maybe I'll think about it, maybe consider, owning, a piece of land. I definitely want to own a piece of land, definitely. But, I don't know if I want to be here, or maybe I want to across the planet. I don't know. But until then, I don't think it's really a purpose in buying a home. For me at this point in my life, I don't see the purpose. So many people, they're rushing, they're depressed to buy a home. Most ninjas ain't gonna be able to buy a home anyway. Let's just cut the chase. Most people are not going to be able to buy a home in the first place, right? The way that this economy is going to be priced out. And speaking of that, I guess we got enough people, we got enough action in here right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this audio for you guys. This is from Michael Bernardinero. seen him, but he's a YouTuber economist, kind of guy. He talks about the U.S. economy, what's going on, real estate, the government and all that stuff. So check this out. I'm gonna put the mic up so you guys can hear. Make sure you listen in closely.
And what these numbers tell us is that the economy has essentially stopped growing, guys. We are all of the supposed additional spending that happened in February was due to pricing inflation. And what these numbers tell us is that the economy has essentially stopped growing, guys. We are not seeing any growth. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if very soon we start seeing these numbers go negative because of how much people are out of money and how much of the spending has been relying on debt over the past couple of years. So we're in a situation right now where spending is going down, is too high. It's looking very unlikely that the interest rates at all for the rest of the year in 2025. I mean, how could they? They just got this core inflation reading going up, guys, and this is what they like to look at, and it's going up. So what kind of justification can they use to actually cut interest rates right now? There isn't one. And according to the spending report, most of the increase in spending was cars and appliances, and spending actually fell in categories like restaurants and hotels. And I know people write me all the time here on the channel saying, well, listen, it's busy where I live. I see a lot of people out eating at the restaurants where I'm at. I see the parking lot full at Walmart or whatever. Like, just because that's like that in one small area of the country doesn't mean it's like that everywhere, guys. That even during the Great Recession, the worst recession any of us have seen in our lifetime, we still had pockets of the country that were thriving, okay? It was still easy to get a job in some places. There were still people out spending money in some places. That doesn't mean it was like that everywhere. And they're saying that part of the reason these appliance and car sales actually probably went up is because of the anticipated tariffs. Car prices are set to rise pretty substantially for foreign imports starting on April 2nd if they follow through with the tariffs and they don't get revoked like many of the other ones we've seen so far. But if that happens, the tariffs on those are going up by 25%, guys. How much is that going to increase car prices? By a lot. Does it really matter? Not really, because most people can't even afford a car right now.
Most people can't even afford a brand new car right now anyway, right? Everything is up, right? Cars up, the cost of rent is up, right? The cost to borrow money is up. We're in a shit show right now. We're in very deep shit right now. If you heard him earlier, he is saying, based on the reports, that the economy is not even growing. The economy has basically came to a halt. The economy has basically came to a halt thanks to tariffs, thanks to the tariff wars that we're in, thanks to the administration is basically trying to isolate America, make us more, dominant, domestically dominant, right? But how is that really helping Americans? It's not really helping. If anything, it's exacerbating the issue that has been here for the past, few decades, right? Everything is speeding up. If you don't remember my video last summer, I said homelessness new normal. Y'all thought I was playing. Look at where we are now. Moy says Tap, yeah, Tap is on his game, absolutely. But I said this last summer. I said homelessness will be the new normal, right? It's not gonna look like the typical homelessness that y'all used to seeing, right? Yeah, we're gonna have that homelessness too, but there are gonna be more people out here who are like you got functioning alcoholics and functioning drug addicts. We're gonna have out here, homeless people who are driving around Mercedes, right? We're gonna see a lot of people out here driving BMWs, but they're homeless, right? We're gonna see a lot of people out here they driving Teslas and they're gonna be homeless. There are gonna be a lot of people who are driving cars, and this is happening right now. If you don't know, this is happening right now. A lot of people afford rent in major metropolises. Many people cannot afford rent, right? So many people, this is becoming a trend. Check out TikTok, right? For you guys who have a TikTok, check out TikTok. A lot of people are cars right now, right? Due to the cost of goods, due to the cost of housing, due to the cost of rent, due to the cost of everything, right? Well, you thought they were playing when they said that you will own nothing and be happy. You thought they were playing, huh? Y'all thought they were playing? John says factory jobs are pointless now. They don't pay good, bro. Listen, most jobs are almost pointless at this point, right? First of all, if you have a singular job right now, listen, slap yourself on the neck right now. Slap right now, right freaking now. If you out here with one job, Ninja, where have you been the last 4 years? Ninja, during the pandemic, I lie to you not, I had 3 gigs. During the pandemic, I had 3 gigs. I had just about 3 gigs that whole maybe 2 years, right? I was in between jobs, but then I found a job and settled there. I was working at a data center. I was working at a Google data center, right? I was running the cables and installing the what you call those, the hard drives and all of that stuff, right? I was working at a Google data center doing contract work. So I was doing that during the daytime. Then after I left the data center, guess where I was going? I was working at FedEx at night in the evening time. I was going to FedEx and working in the evening time. When I got, mind you, I was still going to the gym. I would go to the gym after my first job. And after I left the gym, took a shower or whatever, then I would hit my second job, FedEx, right? I would work there for like 3 4 hours, right? I would get there around 6 maybe 7 o'clock, work there to about 11 o'clock 12 at night, right? And then in between time, I may, on the way home, I may do DoorDash and pick up a few orders on the way home. Man, I was grinding. What are y'all talking about, man? I was grinding. But if you ninjas think one job is about to cut it nowadays, oh, you got another thing coming. One job, that's over with. Unless you making 150 plus and you single, right? 200, really 200, if you may have a family. If you have family, you need to be grinding to 200. I already told you my goal. I need to be making a quarter, right? I need to get to that quarter mark, right? I've already made 100 already. That 100,000, man, that junk come and go. I'm telling y'all. 100,000, that is not. I remember back then. This was just 4 years ago, where everybody was striving to get $100,000. Like, yeah, we need to get to 100,000, 6 figures, right? 6 figures on the dot. Don't get me wrong. Now, 100,000 is 100,000, but 100,000 ain't the same 100,000 it was 5 years ago, right? 100,000 is really, that's normal. That's normal now. If you're working 2 jobs, right? If you're doing it right, you should be able to pull in 100. You should be able to pull in 100, right? Or close to it, right? Under, right? After taxes, maybe, 85, right? But for you ninjas who think that one job is about to cut it, man, y'all got another thing coming. One job is not, bro. No job is paying enough nowadays, right? No job is paying nothing nowadays unless you some kind of doctor or attorney, or like I said, maybe software engineer or something like that, where they paying you 150 out of the gate, right? Which, who's getting paid that money? There's a very minority of people who are getting paid that money, right? You have to be very skilled, right, or own the business, right? I talked about this on the member side. I talked about what kind of gigs you need to be getting into, right? I talked about all that, right? Because now it's important more than ever, right? Homelessness is going to become homelessness is going to become the new norm. I'm telling y'all, right? I told you I'd be predicting this stuff. Chaz Maserati, what's going on? What's going on? Derek Boyd said cybersecurity can pay up to 200K. Yep. But see, here's the thing, though. With much of tech, you got to be able to bounce around the layoffs, man. You have to be able to bounce around the layoffs. You have to already have been at this point in time. You have to already have been somebody in tech and establish yourself in tech already, right? Because tech is constantly having layoffs, right? They're steady dropping people like flies right now, right? And all across those industries. Now there are a few industries that are still popping, right? Like, we've talked about on the member side, AI, right? We talked about a few of these things, but like Nick said, AI is going to take over tech. Data analysts. Why would they hire a human being to do data analytics when ChatGPT can do that in a jiffy? Don't y'all understand that ChatGPT has an enterprise version, right? SAP, things like SAP, ChatGPT, right? Other softwares that are coming out, other artificial intelligence that are coming out to help people consolidate their data and things of that nature, bro. We cooked out here, man. We're cooked out here. Most jobs out here cannot sustain. Most people cannot sustain. How many people make over $25 an hour? I think I did this before, right? How many people make over 25 an hour in America? How many people? So check this out. Approximately only 25% of Americans earn above $25 per hour. Let me tell y'all this again. Let me say this again because y'all probably didn't hear me. This is how ugly it is right now. Only 25% of individuals in America earn above $25 an hour. Right? As of March 2025, the average hourly pay for an American in the United States is 28 an hour. 25% of workers earn less than 15. 25, we're talking about a quarter of workers earn less than 15%. So you Wally World ass ninjas, right? Wally World, Family Dollar ass ninjas. 25% earn less than $15 an hour. 50% earn less than 20 an hour. This is what I'm reading. Man, listen, and 75% earn less than 24 an hour. So that's basically what it's saying with the first stat that I read. So only 25% of people earn above $25 an hour. Bro, people out here struggling. Y'all can't yeah, what is there to say? What is there to say? Listen, if you're in one of those bottom percentiles, Ninja, you need to get your weight up. So Drunk Monk said WTF. So 75% only make 30 to 35K. Yeah. Most people are not making, bro. The average income is what? And the people who are bringing up that, oh, excuse me, the people who are bringing up the averages are the people who are making the bulk of the money, right? If you take away the top 20%, if you take away the top 20% of people, the averages will fall. They will fall. They will fall dead flat. Drunk Month says I make 30 an hour and that used to be chill, but at 29 I feel like a bum. Listen, $30 an hour. Listen, $30 an hour can $30 an hour. You can be a little comfortable with $30 an hour. You can be a little comfortable with $30 an hour, but you'll have to throw in some OT on that, right? You'll have to throw some OT on that $30 an hour. So what's that? 30 times 1.5? What's that an hour? What's that an hour with OT? What is that around maybe like 40 something, 42 or something? 42 an hour? Yeah, y'all come in and hit that like button, man. I'm in here cooking, giving y'all some game, man. Hit that like button, right? Y'all got to understand, people are in a very very ugly predicament right now. The point of this stream, right? Definitely to help you come to terms with, bro. The more you wait, the more you sit back on your ideas, the more you try to sit back and think that okay, times pass by, the more the times are going to pass you by and the harder it's going to get. Y'all think it's going to get easier out here? I already warned y'all last year. For those of you who was following me since last year, for those of you who was subscribed to me last year, I already warned you of this time. I said that the show was going to continue. I said this before the election. I said this way before, Trump started campaigning. Said the show will continue. You think that somebody's going to get in office and change this thing around? Listen, this has been going on for the past 30, 40 years, right? Maybe 50 years, way before I was even born, way before most of you were probably even your nutsack started to drop. Pause. So this has been going on for a long time now, and you think this is going to be reversed in 4 years, right? Reversed in 4 years? No, I think not. And then at this route, at this trajectory, you think no, bro. I don't even know what they're doing at this point. I don't even understand what they're doing. I still haven't. Listen, man. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand what they're doing. And it looks like and it looks like America is dang on falling. That's what it looks like to me, right? JC says I just took a TSA prep job and they had me they had me fucked up. It pretty much pointless. What happened with that? What happened with the TSA? Well, I just took a TSA prep job and they had me. What happened with the TSA? Y'all heard that they trying to privatize TSA anyway. JC said they designed a test so you can't even pass. I called to see if there was anything I could do to study, and they said there's no test prep. What? TSA has no test prep? That's kind of hard to, but they have no test prep? What? I don't listen. I'm gonna have to do some research. TSA has no test prep. What? So what are they even testing on? Kevin said a major thing right here. Kevin says, guys, start a business in the trades. Don't work for these corporations. Absolutely. But I mean, listen though, at the same time, the same token, I say if you have to, don't sleep on. Listen, I know a lot of people they don't want to work for the 9 to 5s. Listen, I'm one of those people. Listen, I'm all here for you, right? I'm in the same boat, right? You don't want to work for these corporations. You don't want to work for these, jobs, and they drain the life out of you. Trust me, I get it. I'm in the same boat with you. But if you know that this can possibly fund, right? Your entrepreneurship, if you know this can fund, what you're trying to do in life, listen, take advantage of your 9 to 5, right? Don't sleep on your 9 to 5, right? Don't sleep on your 9 to 5, right? Use it to your advantage. Don't sit up there. Don't sit up there and sleep on it, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna just quit my 9 to 5." Listen, I've been there, done that, right? I've been there, done that. I've quit before. I've quit before I should have quit, right? I left jobs before I had something else lined up, right? I've left jobs thinking that, oh, this business is going to get off the ground. Let me just focus on that, and just for things to fail, right? I'm gonna have another stream, right? I got a few pictures of me, I taking a picture with my first business, LLC booklet and everything. I'm gonna talk about that on another stream. But listen, I've been there, done that. Right. So don't leave too soon. If you got to work that job, listen, work that job. Y'all think I was exhausted, right? I was exhausted. Yeah, I had a lot of energy. I was ready to get money and ready to go, right? I was exhausted leaving my main job, then having to go work at FedEx, and then driving DoorDash on the side. I was exhausted, right? But I knew that money had to come in, right? I knew my goals, I knew my ambitions, I knew, I had things to do, I had, people to take care of, right? So I had to, get it how I live. That you can't have no excuses, especially when you have, a child and everything to take care of, right? And that's the reason why a lot of guys out here they really don't have no ambition, no drive. They don't have anything to give them, no drive and ambition, right? Especially if you have no self-drive. Like, I don't really need anything to give me like a start. I'm a self-starter myself. But a lot of guys out here, man, right? A lot of guys, they're not self-starters, and it shows that they need something in their life to give them some kind of motivation and some kind of start, right? It definitely shows. It definitely shows. Drunk monk, yo tap. What us dudes do? What us dudes do? 20 through 40 who don't own a home. And if women don't go 50-50, what happens in 5 years? Is the study true? 50% of women will be single. So let me try to figure out what you're asking. So you say, yo tap, what does dudes do 20 to 40 who don't own a home? I mean, be a nomad, travel. I mean, you don't. I mean, at this point, do you really want to own a home, right? Do you really want to bear the cost of owning a home? I mean, it's up to you. Now, to each his own. If you want to own a home, you want your own home, and you can afford it, and you can put down the down payment. And that's something you want to do, and you want to stay wherever you're staying. Hey, go about it. Go and do it. Um, but I mean, I don't know what you mean by what do you guys do? I mean, live life. live life. I mean, there's beautiful apartments, there's beautiful high rises, right? There's beautiful places. I mean, you can rent a home. Like you could, there. Do you understand that there's people who rent homes and rent and they're living the life that they want to live. Do y'all not understand that? Right? There's plenty people who they just don't want to do. They don't want to hire people to do the yard, right? They don't want to have to take care of maintenance. They don't want to have to take care of their own plumbing. They don't want to cut the grass. They don't want to do any of that stuff, right? They just pay the cost to stay in, a nice neighborhood. They may rent a home where the actual homeowner or the is responsible for the upkeep, or they just may stay in a high rise or something like that, where the apartment complex or the what they call that, the condo HOA, whatever that's called. It's not called HOA. I forgot what it's called. Condo alliance or something like that, where they're responsible for maintaining the condo. Right? People making all kinds of money who don't own a home. So I mean, you can live your life, right? Drunk Monk said, honestly, the move is buy haunted houses for cheap in cities. What? Drunk Monk, what now you sounded like a drunk monk right now. You sounding like a drunk monk right now, Ninja. Honestly, the move is to buy haunted houses. What? JC says renting to own is risky. They be taxing the rent too. Listen, all this stuff is risky right now. Everything is risky right now. Everything is risky. Well, look, you're just gonna have you're gonna have to take your chances on something. You're gonna have to take your chances on something, right? Jay Garcia, what's going on, Jay Garcia? Thinking of getting dual citizenship and buy a house in Mexico, close to the beach, for one fourth the price compared to U.S. All right, that'll be a good idea, right? That'll be a good idea. See, what you guys need to be looking into is, listen. I'm gonna give y'all some gems right now. I'm gonna give y'all some gems. First and foremost, y'all have to understand. Do y'all have to understand? Do y'all understand that a good portion of the world still don't have proper internet access? Point number one. Y'all have to understand. Much of the world still does not have adequate internet access. So I want y'all to get that through y'all head. What does that mean? If much of the world still doesn't have adequate internet access like the West does, right? Like much of the West, that means they also don't have that much of adequate infrastructure, right? Outside of China, mainland China, Japan and things of that nature. But outside of those Eastern Hemisphere countries right there, those superpowers right there, much of the world does not have adequate internet access, which means there's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of opportunity if you own a business, if you are an intellectual, right? If you're a go getter, right? You know how to build something, right? You want to build something. Listen, take your talents, like try to build what you're going to build here, but take your talent somewhere else, right? I believe that there is trillions of dollars worth of business ideas, right? Infrastructure, construction, getting countries up to date with internet, social media, just a whole digitalization, that we're going through over here in the West in the first place, right? So if you could invent, not invent, if you can take your entrepreneurship skills somewhere else, right, and capitalize off of countries not being up to date, there goes your money right there, right? Because the much of the West, right? The United States and much of the West, I think we've almost capped out. Zaire, what's going on? Zaire up in the building. After pill, what's going on, bro? Nothing much. Just in here, giving these guys a little bit of game, giving these guys a little bit of motivation, right? And also giving them the doom and gloom too. Giving them the doom and gloom too, right? JC says I moved in with two college buddies in August. That's a great idea. Didn't tell us didn't tell us we have to pay for a washer dryer, but they made us get Spectrum all in bundle. The listing price is always at least 200 plus, then it says always. Moy says questions off topic, please. So okay. JC says always leaving stuff out. Yeah, that's the game. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. We have an unknown Equinox says if you want to live somewhere and that looks nice, where you can feel rich, go to Thailand. Good luck with the earthquakes. Yeah, see, everything has its trade offs. Everything has its trade offs. I mean, America has its trade offs, right? Then everywhere else has its trade offs, right? You want to go to Thailand and deal with earthquakes. I mean, I'm sure they're not that often. I don't know. But I mean, other plenty of places have their own. They have their trade offs. You're just gonna have to look into the trade offs. But yeah, I definitely heard about Thailand over there. That earthquake over there. Zaire says, "After pill, you looking good, bro. No Diddy. Pause, ninja. Pause." But I appreciate it though. I appreciate it. Appreciate you pushing out the content, bro. Shouts out to Zaire. JC says, "Nick, I don't even talk to Boomer." Oh, you talking to Nick? Rocket P13 said, "Don't forget about credit and business credit. These banks are how a lot of enterprises hit. A lot of how enterprises hit started. Yeah. So I mean, that's something I can talk about on the member side. Bank, uh, what you call that? Business credit and all that stuff. So definitely, Rocket P13. That's a great point. But yeah, that's a great point. But yeah, and then I mean, we have to talk about these tariffs too, man. But before we talk about these tariffs, I mean, I guess we already touched on people out here working more than one job, right? People still struggling, man. People out here still struggling, right? You know, a singular job is not going to cut it. Most jobs are not paying. I just read you the stats. If you didn't hear me say the stats, and you just now coming in, go ahead and rewind that video. But I said that most people are not making. Only 25% of people are making over $25 an hour, right? Only 25%. That is it, right? It's still, I mean, when you think about a big population, 500 million, 25%, what is that? Still a good portion of people. But only 25% of Americans are making over $25 an hour. Everybody else is at $25 an hour on down. I told you, ninjas. Y'all thought I was joking about these Wally World ninjas coming in here, right? Most of these ninjas work at Wally World, right? Don't want to do anything, don't want to get any skills, don't want to. This is y'all wake up call right here, ninja, right? This is y'all wake up call, right? And y'all think tariffs is going to help America. Tariffs, what tariff is going to help America? Listen, tariffs is about to push people more into debt. These tariffs people deep into a hole, right? Cars are going to increase, right? People are already defaulting on their student loans, right? People's cars are getting repossessed, right? Because they can't afford the car note anymore, right? People are getting evicted because they can't afford the rent, right? Things are getting crazy out here. But and then on top of that, the cost of goods and services, Canada, they're doing reciprocal tariffs. Europe is doing reciprocal tariffs. What China is doing reciprocal tariffs. And who's going to eat that cost? You think the corporations are going to eat that cost? Y'all think the corporations are going to eat that cost? Hell no, the corporations is not going to eat the cost. You think the government is going to eat the cost? They definitely not going to eat the cost. They trying to cut cost, ninja. They're trying to cut cost. So who's going to eat the cost? Who's going to eat the cost? We're going to eat the cost, right? Eggs going to increase. All the groceries have already gone up. People are not spending as much on groceries, so people are trying to cut and dip and cut around wherever they can cut around to not spend as much because meat is going up, eggs is going up. Canned goods have gone up. Everything is going up. The average person is cooked out here. Most people are cooked out here. So, like I told y'all, the haves and the have-nots is going to increase even more. Man, y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that like button. We have 60 people in here. We dang near. I wish we get to break that record. We need to get to 100 people in here because that'll be a record for me. The last record we set, we had around 75 people in here, 74 people in here. Go ahead and hit that like button, man. YouTube, do me a favor. I'm talking to the algorithm right now. YouTube, push this video out. Get us to 100 people in here, man. Get us to 100 people in here. Y'all hit that like button, man. Hawk smoking tariffs aren't anything new, dog. Other countries have been changing tariffs to the U.S. for forever. Go educate yourself. I think you are. I think you're sadly mistaken. We haven't seen it at. Yes, tariffs have always been a thing. Yes, China has been been doing it to a certain extent. Canada has been doing it to a certain extent, but not on, right. Not on this level, right. I don't have all my notes and everything to really go into details with it, but that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. We have not been in a whole tariff war with so-called allies of ours, right? Putting tariffs on each other. Not only will the tariffs that we put on Canada, Mexico, not only will that hurt Americans, but the reciprocal tariffs will also hurt Americans, right? They're putting tariffs on things that they didn't have tariffs on before. Yes, there have been tariffs. Yes, that there have been tariffs and nothing but taxes, right? To cross over different countries, right? To cross over borders, the cost of trading, right? The cost of trading has always been there. Yes, we understand that. But we're hitting another hump that we haven't hit before. So rap, the trick is not buying stupid things. I mean, you can say that, but then when you have people who are already struggling to buy groceries, what do you tell them? When the cost of goods and the cost of services, people need to maintain their cars, right? You have people skipping out on oil changes. You have people skipping out on their brakes. You got people driving around, the tires are bald, right? Those are essential services, don't you think? So I don't think people are just out here buying stupid stuff. I think people have always been struggling, right? People been struggling since the dang gone since we came out the pandemic, since the middle of the pandemic, really struggling, right? So now is even worse. Now they really can't afford these services. Now they really can't afford none of these things, right? Yeah, if you disagree, go ahead and super chat. Zaire says, how do y'all work 80 hours a week? Isn't that illegal? Listen, some of these companies will let you some of these companies will let you work as much as you want to, Zaire. But I mean, technically, I work 80 hours unofficially. I can pull in 50, 55, maybe sometimes 60 hours. And then if you count everything that I do with YouTube and other things and all of that, like you might as well say I'm doing 80 plus hours. More like going towards 90 hours really for all the work that I put in. Listen, I'm putting in hours too. So 80 hours is 80 hours a week is living and sleeping at work. If let's see, if you work 12 hours for 7 days a week, 12 hours 7 days a week, what's that? 12 times 7, 14. What's that? 7 carry the one. That's around what, 84? 84 hours, 12 times 7. It's possible if you really out here working. Drunkma says, yeah, car prices be crazy. I bought a Q50 Infinity for 17K and thought that was a lot. Yeah. That's the big body. That's the big boy, ain't it? The Q50, or is that the mid size, or is that the SUV Infinity? Moy says got two wheels changed and it was 150, not including tip. Who tipping? Tip who? Tip who? Who's tipping? You tipping the tire change workers? You tipping the tire change workers, Moy? What's going on? Moy, let me find out. You said I tip your ass tap. Whoa, pause. Whoa. I think you need to. Whoa. Hold on. I need a drink of water for that one. You are out of pocket, Moy. What? What did you just say to me, Moy? Look, Moy. You didn't even think about it. You didn't even think about it, did you, Moy? You just typed it out. Say, I tip your ass tap. Whoa, what? What? Whoa. Hey yo, whose man's is this? Hey yo, whose man's is this, man? I'll tip yo. Oh, what? Tip and ass. That shouldn't go in the same series. It's crazy. Shouts out to Moy though. Shouts out to Moy. After pill, it seems like the family relationship is over. With I had to cut my family ties. Today I couldn't stand them. This okay. I'm not gonna read the whole paragraph. I'm gonna read this one. I'm not gonna read. I told y'all about these paragraphs. Said after pill, it seems like the family relationship is over with. I had to cut my family ties today. I couldn't stand them affecting my mental health. I had to wash my hands today. It's really sad. Listen, man. Listen. Once you go a good minute, listen. Time heals all. Time heals all. And I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one to tell you. Listen, things happen. The first people who are going to be, the people who turn against you, the first people who are not going to be in your corner, right? Family members. The first people who are going to hate on you, they're going to be family members. They're going to be loved ones. They're going to be close ones, right? We hear these stories all the time. We hear it time and time again. Listen, family can be some of your biggest haters. Now, family can be some of your biggest supporters, right? But for the most part, a lot of times they're not going to be your biggest supporters. They're not going to support you, right? They're not even going to be on the same wavelength as you a lot of the times, right? Only one who's thinking on a certain wavelength. You're the only one who's thinking like, dang, everybody broke. My mama broke. My daddy broke. My uncle broke. My auntie broke. You're the only one trying to make it out and get some money, right? Everybody else saying, they're content, right? They're content, and you know what's that's another thing we need to talk about, right? A lot of Americans are content, right? A lot of Americans are content. That's a part of the reason why we are, right? We have too many people. We have too many slopalopicus. We have too many broke ninjas. We have too many dusty ninjas. We have too many people, like we talked about on the last stream. We have too many people who have no standards. They have no standards at all. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to get up. They sit there and soak in their depression, right? They sit there and make excuses for their lives. They sit up. Oh, I have anxiety. Oh, I have mental health. I was watching this segment. I think it was from Mr. Beast. I think it was an interview or something. But he was talking about how if he now I'm not vouching for not taking care of your mental health. Definitely take care of yourself. But he had said something equivalent to if I sat back and took care of, he said something like, if I sat back and cared for myself every time I thought I had a mental health issue or something like that, or if I actually thought about my mental health while I was grinding, he said he wouldn't be Mr. Beast. And for those of you who don't know who Mr. Beast is, big one of the biggest YouTuber ever, right? Think he's the most subscribed person on YouTube ever. Mr. Beast, right? He said if he had cared about his mental health while he was on the grind, while he was grinding, putting out videos and doing what he was doing and grinding to be where he is now. And I think Mr. Beast almost is worth closer to possibly $1 billion estimated, right? He's worth a lot of money, and he came up from YouTube, right? Doing like little videos, little extreme videos on YouTube. So a lot of people out here claiming, "Oh, my mental health." A lot of people don't know what mental health is, right? You have people out here that do have real psychological issues, but what people are claiming, especially Americans just have gotten weak, man. A lot of people have gotten weak. We've entered into this social media age, right? We've entered into this social media age, this instant gratification world where everybody's seeing how everybody else is living, and it's affecting a lot of people who don't know how to handle it, right? You have some people who can handle it, and you have some people who don't. Now, does it affect us all? Of course, it affects us all. But you have so many people out here. They crave for the instant gratification. They crave for the instant attention. They crave for the instant money. They crave for the instant validation and the accolades and everything. Right. So when they see everybody else living some kind of way, right? They may be 25 and they see another 25-year-old, living a life. They seen a 25-year-old buy a Lambo, right? Seeing a 25-year-old buying a Lambo, but they don't understand, like they don't understand that that 25-year-old, he was grinding since he was 14 years old, right? He started his journey at 14 years old, right? It just so happened that 10 years have passed, 11 years have passed. Now he's where he's supposed to be because he's been grinding this whole time. He just started early. Meanwhile, you got Ninja starting at 30, starting at 40 years old. Now, no knock. Now, you can start at any time in life. Some people don't always get the message, right? Some people don't get the message early on. Some people get the message later on. But you got people starting at 40 years old. Meanwhile, you got, guys who are 20 something years old, 19 years old, 15 years old, right? They're starting early. So by the time they get 25, they put 10 years in, the 10 years that you're supposed to have put in, or they putting in 10,000 hours, right? They far exceeded you, but rightfully so, right? I know a ton of YouTubers that I used to watch way back in the day, teenager, right? And they're the same age as me. Some of them a little bit younger, but I remember watching these guys, way back then. When I was just a consumer, I'm watching YouTube, not even thinking that, dang, I can pick up a camera too. Dang, I can pick up a camera, not even thinking that. Watching these guys do prank videos, like the beginning of YouTube, right? And now these guys are like, they're multi-millionaires, got all the subscribers, all the followers, they got the clout, they got the success, and all that stuff, man. All that stuff. Boy says, tap tariffs time, Zaire, there we go. Tap women secretly like broke men they can control. Man, you said a word right there, man. Should we talk about it on this stream? Should we talk about it on this stream? Should we talk about it on this stream? John says yes. Zaire says hell yeah. Nick says yeah. Moy says yeah. Okay. We're gonna talk about it then. We're gonna talk about it. Tap women sickly like broke men they can control. Zaire, I'm starting to learn. Listen, the ties have changed, bro. The rules are changing every day, man. The rules are changing, right? The rules are changing every single day, and it is nerve wracking, right? It is nerve wracking. Listen, I was talking to this chick at work, and this happened to what's so funny that people bring up stuff that be happening to me, right? I was talking to this chick at work today, right? Young chick, like 19 years old, right? And I was just, she was asking me questions and stuff and all that stuff, and me just being me, I am humble, right? I am humble. But when it's time to pop my shit, when it's time to really, start talking about stuff, my journey, and like who I am, and how I do this, how I do that, working out, and get into the money, get into the bag, and all that stuff. And I was telling her, like, listen, back then, I didn't look as good as I do now, right? I was telling her, listen, I look too good now. I look too good to be true. Put me in a movie, right? And she was like, ugh, that's so ick. I was like, what? She was like, ugh, that's so ick. And I'm like, these early Gen Z, borderline Gen Alpha, right? Kids, right? They say ick. So I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean ick? She was just like, you just too confident. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean too confident? Like arrogant? Like, no, you just have too much confidence. You just have too much confidence. Like, you need to tone it down a little bit. You need to be humble. And I'm like, I tried to contain myself. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that me coming from where I come from, me actually putting in the work, me doing what I did to get here and still have a ways to go, but me understanding the work that I put in and me being proud of myself and me understanding that chicks didn't want me back then, but now when I glowed up, came proportionate to my body and I started putting on muscle and I got a little pretty penny in my pocket. So now you telling me that I can't be proud, I can't have any confidence and talk my shit. I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, girls don't like that. Girls like guys who are quiet. Girls like guys who are not all that confident, right? I know, she was like, I know that you fine. You don't have to tell the world that you fine. I'm like, Ninja, I'm gonna tell the whole world because I wasn't fine back then, Ninja. I'm gonna tell the whole world I'm fine. What are you talking about? So I'm starting to realize the tides have turned, man. And listen, humble G, what's going? Oh, humble. Speaking of humble, shouts out to humble. Shouts out to humble. But man, and now it's getting to where listen, if you okay, for I was gonna do this, another stream, but okay, we got time. We're gonna do it on this stream, right? There used to be a time where women liked the guys, right? And not saying that they don't, but it used to be a time where the majority of chicks liked the guys who were well put together. And I've communicated this message before. I tell guys, listen, the more you become yourself, right? The more you grow to understand yourself, right? You start to get well put together, right? You start to look good, right? In the gym, your body is dress well, you starting to smell good. You got the smell good on that Dolce and Gabbana, right? Or you got that Toy Boy on, right? You start to smell good. You start to look good. You got your skincare routine going on and everything. I'm starting to see that women do not like the guys who are well put together at all, right? Now I don't know if it's a security. I don't know if they're terrified of that guy, or they feel like that guy is too good for them, or it could be a variety of those, or a multitude of those at the same time. But I'm starting to notice that the guys who really have their stuff together, the more you have your stuff together, the less women you attract. Remember, we were talking about quality over quantity, right? Will see, not that many women are like above average. So I hope y'all know that too. Right. And I'm not just talking about in looks. I'm also talking about in aura. I'm also talking about in attitude, right? Women who have, feminine attitudes, right? Women who are sweet, women who are lovely to be around, right? Not just talking about in looks, but in looks as well. Not too many women exist, right, for that. Those women right there, which are null and void, very, very minimum of those women, right? Much of those women, those are the women who are attracted to those guys who are well put together. Don't get it twisted and misconstrued though. The women who claim to not like those guys, they're also attracted to the well put together guys, but they also don't want to get with those guys because they know that they're going to have to come with, right? If that guy's in shape, they know that guy has standards well outside of their league, right? Well outside of their league. They know that that guy is on another level, right? So they know that, oh, I can't compete with the standards that he has even for himself. He's going to require these certain standards of me, right? I know that he can get somebody better than me. I know that he can get somebody way better looking than me. I know this. So instead of admitting this, and instead of getting better themselves, guess what they do? They play games, right? See, the broke guy, they'll accept him all day, right? The ugly guy, I've seen fat guys who are getting play, right? And when I say play, I really mean conversation. Women will show them attention than a guy who is well put together and look good. I swear to God, right? They will look at the fat guy. They will look at the fat guy like, like a prime piece of steak. They will look at the fat guy like a prime piece of steak. And you know why? Because the fat guy is insecure. The fat guy looks at them as being the prize. When they come across somebody like me, I don't look at nan bitch like the prize. I don't look at no woman like the prize. I don't care how bad she is. I don't care how beautiful she is. I'm not looking at no woman like she's the prize. I'm the prize. I'm the one that got to get out here and go to work. I'm the one that got to get out here and produce in the world. I'm the one. Society looks at me as the producer, not you. They look at you as a result of my work. So I'm never looking at a woman like she's the prize. And I had a multitude of women, so a woman's beauty don't even affect me like that anymore, right? A woman's beauty does not affect me anymore, right? So I can look at any woman and be like, okay, yeah, she nice. Okay, she cool. Okay, I like what I see. But besides that, no. So when they see somebody like me walk into the room, like they know what's going on, right? They know I'm well put together. They know I have a good head on my shoulder, I'm going into a right direction. They know that I have a bright future. But guess what? They'll know all of those things and know that, dang, that's the guy who's gonna be. You get what I'm saying? That's the guy that's gonna be something. That's the guy that's prime real estate right there. But they'll look at me and give me a hard time. They'll look at me and they'll give me the cold shoulder. But they'll give a guy that I know ain't got shit on me. And that's how they moving nowadays. That's how they moving nowadays. They'll give the ugly guy the attention. The attention. They'll give the Pookie attention. Broke thug out Pookie the attention. But they'll look at me and be like, "Oh, he's too." I've heard this from women. Oh, you pretty. Like you a pretty boy. Like I've heard it all. Right? Oh, literally somebody told me this. You look like you go into the nail salon and get your nails, get pedicures and stuff. Bitch, I do. Right? I do. And it's crazy. It's crazy, but they will go for the broke boys. The one most women they're going for the ones who don't have their standards up. So listen to me, gentlemen. If you're up in a standard, right? If you have standards for yourself, don't expect nowadays. Don't expect to just get a multitude of women. Now you will. Now the expensive women. Don't get it wrong. Now go out to like high end restaurants. Go out to high end restaurants. Go out to high end restaurants. Go out to high end hotels, 4-star, 5-star hotels. Now you will. Now there are some working women who hang in those spaces as well, right? I remember this one time I was at the where was I? I was at the Intercontinental, right? I was at the Intercontinental at the bar. When I was down at the bar and I went and I took my drink and I went up to my room. And if you ever stayed at the Intercontinental, like you can't get up. Most of those hotels you can't even hit the elevator without a key. So you literally have women. There was women there like taking pictures in front of like the mirrors and stuff right there by the elevators, right? So they literally hover. They like the elevator because they know that there are certain men who can afford to be there, right? There are certain men who can pay the cost to be the boss, and they hover around there. Like I didn't say nothing to either one of them, right? I didn't say nothing to any one of them, but they were like, hey, can you come take our picture? Come take our picture real quick. And that's just like a little invitation. They want to talk and all that. Like, and it could be a robbery too, ninja. It could be a robbery too. Ninjas could be trying to set you up too. But they were trying like, hey, come take our picture, and all that stuff, right? It was a group of them, right? And come take our picture, and like trying to spark up conversation. And guess what I do? Hop on that elevator, turn around, and bitch, nope. The hell you think this is? Hell, but man, you gotta really listen. It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. Look at Joker's Wild. Look at this comment right here. Look at this comment. He must be new here. Joker said, go to a foreign country and get yourself a woman that hasn't been around. Listen, I know a ninja who ain't been nowhere when I see one. I know a ninja who don't know women when I see one. I know a ninja who don't know nothing when I see one. I know. Go to what foreign country, Joker? What foreign country? Name one. Name one foreign country. Where? Dominican Republic? Nope. Those chicks ran through. As beautiful as they are. Colombia? Nope. As beautiful as they are ran through. Where else? The Philippines? Nope. Same thing. Thailand? Nope. Same thing. Where at? Japan? Nope. The military been ran through them. Where you talking about? China? Nope. Actually, the men sleeping with escorts is actually accepted over there, and the women be cheating too. Is normal over there. So nope. Where are you talking about at? Zaire, what's going on, man? Zaire with the super chat. He said it's because unintentionally we're making these women look bad because we're not low lives. Women will act weird towards the attractive alpha male and simultaneously date a disaster. Women are weirdos. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, man. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. But where you gonna go? Dubai? Nope. They getting pooped on. Right? Where you gonna go? Like you can't go into no Islamic country. No. Where you going? Germany? Nope. They ran through too. Right? The snow bunnies ran through. The blue eyed blonde hair they ran through too. Switzerland? Nope. They just as dang on liberal as the women in the United States. Nope. Where you gonna go? Eastern Europe? Nope. Where Ukraine? Yeah, I mean, nah, they already selling. They already selling booty. They trying to get by the war. Come on now, there's nowhere to go. Women are the same everywhere. But Zaire, that was a good point though. It's because unintentionally we're making these women look bad. That's basically what I've came to understand. Right? Basically, you're outdoing them. Right? They look at you, and I've seen plenty of women look at me with jealousy. I've seen plenty of women look at me with jealousy. Right? You have a lot of what they call it, penis envy. You have a lot of women who penis envy, right? They want to be men, but they don't understand that they'll never be men, right? They deal with the low lives. They definitely deal with the low lives because those are the men who are gonna simp for them. See somebody like me, I'm not gonna simp. Now will some days I'll I'll play the little simp game or whatever, throw him a little compliment here and there, just playing around or whatever. But for the most part, no, they understand. They know I'm not going to give them the same time of day as like the fat Slopalopicus man, King Slopaloposaurus. They know I'm not going to give. See when he walk up, he all excited just to see a five. He's all excited just to see a four, right? He's sitting up there flirting with a four and a five. I'm looking at this ninja like, bro, are you serious? Are you serious, ninja? That's a four and five, but he a four or five. So I mean, I guess he got to get it how he live, right? Even when it comes to bona fide eights and nines, I mean, you'll run into them rarely because they don't come that often. They definitely don't work. It's rare that you'll see a 8 and 9 that actually works. Now have I seen a 8 and 9 that work in the workplace? I have seen eights and nines. Like I said, they're rare, but I have seen eights and nines in the workplace. But even when it comes to eights and nines, will I be like drawn, taken aback because you rarely don't see an 8 and a 9 in the workplace? I'm like, dang, like where that eight come from? But will I be all in her face and showing her this attention? Right? I've literally came across chicks who, after a while of conversation, they'll get like a little attitude because I'm not giving them the type of attention that they want. Right? When I talk to women, like I'm stoic. I'm like I'm indifferent. Right? Yeah, she looks good. Yeah, I know she look good. Right? Yeah, she get the little the little wiggly hard. Yeah, pause no diddy. Yeah, but am I addressing her like that? Right? Am I thinking with my head down there? No, I'm not thinking with my head down there. I'm thinking with my big head. Right? Can't be out here just giving women like just free attention. Like dudes out here, they messed up out here, man. Good point. Good point though, Zaire. They messed up out here, man. Moy says, "Yep, happened to me. Now the bitches hate me in the the grocery store, and the men are all cool with me." He said, "LOL, bitches are weak." Yeah, it's crazy. Um, and for those of you who don't understand, the game is you can never bring out. You can, I mean, not never bring out. You will never be able to figure out what's going on. Moy says, if they're so strong and independent, why do they always need backup? Daddy Gov or the cops or some Captain Save Hoes. Listen, that's just how they live life on cheat code. They're living life with the cheat code. We don't have the cheat code, right? We do have the cheat code, but we have to work to get the cheat code. How about I say that? We have to work to get the cheat code. We don't have the gift of gab like they do. They can maneuver like I always use chess as a reference, right? Chess is a perfect example of how women get the move on the board, right? Who's the most powerful piece on the board? The queen is the most powerful piece on the board. She can move diagonal, she can move horizontal, she can move front, she can move in reverse, she can move however board off the back. She doesn't have to do anything. Off the back, she is given her power. Off the back, she has her power. Off the back, she can knock any piece off she want to if she moves correctly. But who is the most important piece on the board? The king is the most important piece on the board. And guess what? Guess how the king has to move? The king has to move one step at a time. He has to move one step at a time, right? One step at a time. See, kings have to move in patience. Kings have to move with patience, right? Kings have to move with stoicism. Kings have to move with the male rationale, the masculine mind. We can't move as erratic as the queen on the board because guess what? Eventually, there's going to be a piece on the board that knocks the queen off. Tell me I'm lying. If you ever play chess, eventually there's gonna be you're gonna slip up and somebody gonna knock the queen off the chessboard. But guess what? If you get a pawn to the end of the board, guess what? You can get another flipping queen. You can get another flipping queen if you get that pawn to the end of the board. If she get knocked off, if your queen get taken, right? Ninjas out here taking queens. Queens are going to the streets and all kinds of stuff, right? So if your queen get taken, she get knocking off the she get knocked off the board. Guess what? You get to the end of that board. Guess what? You get another queen. But it takes patience. It takes patience, right? I remember when I first started playing chess, when I first started learning chess, like I was so obsessed with the queen. I mean, obsessed with the king, right? I was obsessed with the king because I was like, dang, why the queen moving all crazy? You can move the queen everywhere, but like you got to protect the king, and then he can only move a space at a time. Then you got these other pieces; they can move all this way and that way and all of that. And I'm like, bro, like, dang, you got to do the most to protect the king, and you do have to do the most to protect the king, right? As a man, you have to do the most to protect your mental. You have to do the most to protect, your heart, your emotions. You have to do the most to protect yourself out here. Because guess what? Nobody's coming to save you out here. Look at what's going on. Look what's going on out here. Nobody ain't coming to save you, ninjas. Nobody's not coming to say put money in your pocket. Nobody's coming to, put a certification in your pocket. If you don't make it out here, guess what? The world will move on without you, and nobody's gonna bat a fucking eye. That's what's going on out here. So we have to do the most to protect ourselves out here, right? Why worry about the queen when you can just get another one at any time as long as you got your arms and your legs, right? And imagine that as the pieces on the board, right? You got your arms, your legs, your eyes, everything intact. You can get to the end of the board and you can get you another queen. You can get multiple queens if you wanted to. That's the game that we play. We don't play the game on the same mode as the queen, right? Shouts out to Drunk Monk with the donation. I appreciate the super chat. Drunk Monk says, knowing any girl you date has a 10 plus body count minimum and is fine, but you have to know you're probably not her number one. And if you are it, 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 30. So what do you mean by that? Dang, that's another really that's dang, we broke a record, man. I think we been broke that record though. Didn't that one time we was at 94, we was almost at 100. YouTube trying to push it up now. YouTube trying to push me in the algorithm. We was almost at 100, excuse me. We was almost at 100. We was almost at 100. We at 80. Y'all hit that like button, man. We litty up in here. Hit that like button, man. Drunkma says, knowing any girl you date has a 10 plus body count minimum and is fine. You know what? Let's throw a poll in there. Let's throw a poll in here. Let's throw a poll in here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm gonna throw a poll in the chat. I'm gonna ask y'all something. Let me see. Hold up. All right, there we go. Now y'all answer that question. Does body count matter to you ninjas? And we got 20 votes already. God dang, y'all answer that fast. Now I want somebody to tell me. Moy says chess is life. Yep. I forgot about the night. I forgot about the night. But yeah, the night too. But you got to think the night is like your masculine logic. That's your mind. The night acts as a mind. I want to know. See, at this point, okay, at this point in time, at this point in time in history, right, at where we at right now, like, I will hope that y'all know. I will hope that y'all know the games and everything that's going on and how women are actually maneuvering out here. Why does body count matter? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Why does it matter? What would how would you benefit from? How would you benefit from that? Like if you're trying to get married, I mean, okay, I could probably understand. But then again, you still not going to be the first or even second, maybe not even the third, and maybe not even the fourth, maybe not even the fifth. Hell, I mean, most of the time you probably be after 10. Moy says I'm at the JUCO. Like what? Like what? That's what I'm saying, Moy. Like they all naughty. Who cares about? Quite frankly, I don't care about body count. Definitely not for chicks that I'm, just having fun with. Zaire says, "Tap. A better question is, what's the exact body count number that's your limit?" Okay, let's do that. Well, okay, then what number would it be? Okay, no, see, I have multiple questions though. I have multiple questions because it's like, okay, if body count matter, then it's like, okay, at what body count, what body count would you just be like, no? But then how would you ever know that she's even telling you the truth? Because they know that they're judged by that. So why would she even give real body count if it's actually really high? And then if it's really high and y'all vibing, if y'all not trying to do anything serious like that, if y'all just having fun, does a body count really matter? I'm just saying. Drunkman says, bro knowing the dude dug out my girl deeper is not the vibe. But now you're talking about girlfriends, you're talking about wives. Now you're talking about something different. Now, if you're talking about somebody that you're talking about having a long term relationship with, long term commitment with, or whatever, and she's been out there, then that's different. Then yeah, ninja, I'll be thinking about it too, like because if she have more than likely if she's had 10 bodies, if she's had 10 bodies, one of those dudes was bigger than you. Pause. No diddy. That just facts. Guarantee you. If she's had 10 bodies, one of those dudes was way bigger than you. Pause, no diddy. Yeah, you gotta accept it. You have to accept it. Now, and then anything over 10, I mean, yeah, you might as well already listen, you might as well call a spade a spade. She had some pipe. She had some pipe. But then I'm like me, I mean, I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, I mean, a fun girl is a fun girl. I mean, I'm not thinking about another dude's pipe, right? I'm thinking about the action that I'm getting. I don't really care about all that, right? I'm putting pipe in her, so you know what I'm saying? Pipe is pipe now. Now if you under a certain amount of inches, now I can't help you. Pause, no diddy. Now, if you under a certain amount of inches, now I can't help you, dear sir. Now you got another can of worms you got to deal with. Educated Tyrone says 5 to 10. 5 to 10 is low, especially if she, bro. 5 to 10. Listen, 5 to 10 is low. Listen, do y'all not listen? Bro, for you guys who've been to college, right? For you guys who've been to college, bro. When the freshmen drop down, when the freshmen drop down and it's the first, not the first day, but move in day. Do y'all not understand what happens on move in day and that whole week, that whole month? Do y'all not understand what happens on the first semester? Move in day, all the parties, all the dudes, they hanging outside, they hanging out the dorm rooms, right? Watching, and I was one of them, watching the chicks walk by, like, yeah, we gotta get her, right? Exchanging numbers, like you gotta realize these chicks ain't never seen they ain't never seen grown muscly dudes with beards and right? They dudes got chest tattoos and all kinds of stuff. They 6'5", 6'6". These girls ain't never seen these ninjas before, right? You got the football team, you got fraternities, right? They hanging outside, they out there strolling and doing all kinds of stuff. Like, bro, these chicks are easily racking up 5 in that week. I promise to God. I remember when I first moved in. True story. I was talking to this thick little Latina chick. I was talking to this little thick little Latina chick. I swear to God on my life. After I had got her number, I had walked to the gas station. I remember this like it was yesterday. I got her number and I walked to the gas station. By the time I came back, she was giving her number to another ninja. I swear to God, when I came back, and me being a little simp or whatever, yeah, I got her. Me thinking, yeah, that's mine's right there. That's mine's right there. Man, soon as I came back, it was another ninja in her face, and he was taller than me. He had better clothes on than me. He was in her face, and she just gave me that look like, oopsie. I ain't even say nothing to her. I deleted her number. I was so sick. I was like, man, fuck this hoe. I was so sick. I swear to God, I got her number, walked to the store. It was a gas station right down the street from the dorms. I went to the store, right? This had to be like 10, 15 minutes tops. I came back, it was another ninja in her face. I'm like, bruh, what? What? I'm like, bruh. I'm like, bruh, I can't win. And then, see, I played it wrong anyway. I played it wrong. You know how I played it wrong? I played it wrong because, you know, clearly she gave me her number because she was feeling me, right? She gave me her number because she was feeling me, but I played it wrong because I got in my emotions, right? I got in my emotions. I thought I was that dude, right? I thought I was that dude. I thought I was doing something. Ninja, nope. That was my lesson right there. There's always gonna be another dude with the gift of gab way better than you. There's always gonna be a taller dude. There's always gonna be a more muscular dude. There's always gonna be a better looking dude. There's always gonna be a dude with more money than you. There's always gonna be a dude with a better car than you. There's always gonna be a dude with a better broad than you. There's always gonna be a dude who's gonna top you. Right? You a millionaire? Okay, they got billionaires now, ninja. Right? You a billionaire? Okay. Elon Musk a trillionaire. So what you gonna do now, ninja? Right? You got a boat. This ninja got a yacht. Okay. You got a ninja just bought an S class. Right? You got the 3 series. You got the 3 series. This ninja got the 7 series. Ninja. Right? You got a Honda. Okay. This ninja got a dang on Lamborghini. So listen, that like Moore said, yep, that's life. That's life. Drunk Month says 5'9", and that's short. Now that's crazy that 5'9". So 5'9" is like the average height. 5'9" is like the average height, and that's crazy that most chicks would be like, okay, that's short. Cartier says comparison is the thief of joy, rings loud for women. Yeah, but me being a freshman, I'm like, this freshman year, but you feeling yourself or whatever. You had the cat in the bag or whatever, right? You thought you had the cat in the bag, but listen, that didn't last too long anyway. Because honestly, if y'all been to college, y'all know by the second week, the girls, the freshman girls, they not messing with the freshman dudes no more. By the second week, the upper class, upper class, they've got them. The sophomores, the juniors, the seniors, they got a hold of them. The football players, they took two or three of them. They got two or three of them on the roster, right? The guys who they have their own apartments and all that stuff. Yep, got them. Right? I remember this one chick. I will always see this dude, and of course he had to be like a grown man, right? He was always dressed in like a little suit, like a blazer or something. He would always pull up in his nice Jaguar, right? When it was warm, he always had a top down, and I know his I recognized her. She stayed on campus, and she was a nice little chick, nice little thing, nice little eight, solid eight, and he will always pick her up. He will always pick her up, and all the dudes wanted her, but she had the money man. She had the money man. And that's what I mean. These chicks are dealing with they're already dealing with they're already dealing with dudes who far exceed many of us. School, they're already dealing with the grown guys with the jobs, right? By the time they get to college, they probably done already had a sugar daddy or whatever dude picking them up in a Mercedes and the Jaguars and all that. He an attorney or something, right? Listen, they've been around. By the time Drunk Mom says 18 and 22 for women, those 4 years be hard on them if they don't play it right. Yep, but how they playing it now? How they playing it now? Well, since the economy is looking how it's looking, listen, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of playing outside. Best believe it. Tell them, boy. Tell them, boy. He said 18-22 if they play it right. Hey, how this economy looking right now is there's going to be a lot of playing outside. There's going to be a lot of playing outside because chicks need help. Oh, JC, you 22? JC's 22, but look 17. Everyone look old as fuck now, and I know why. But listen, if you got the money, your height don't matter. If you have the money, your looks don't matter. Your height does not matter at all. Just get to that money, honey. Pause. Just get to that money. That's all you need to do. I definitely have to clip this part right here. I definitely have to clip this part. Make sure I put that in the description. Drunk said, I'm 29 and I don't even look old by women my age. Look 35. More says you want as much of the full package as possible, looks, money, and intelligence. But see, but that's true. I can agree with that. But you know, most guys can't really fully can't really looks max, especially if you ugly. Now I'm not talking about you ninjas, but if you ugly or not. Or medium ugly. What the chicks say nowadays, if you medium ugly, then yeah. Then yeah. I mean, you can't really look smash like that. Now you can maximize your appearance, right? Take care of your hair, right? Get your haircuts, shave if you shave, get trim ups and all of that stuff. Wash your beard and all that stuff, right? Take care of your skin, right? Now, if you got bad agony, you need to do something about that. Go see a dermatologist, ass ninja, right? You got braille on your skin, as ninja. You need to go see a dermatologist, right? You say, oh, you got to pay to see the dermatologist. Well, you need to get a good job, ninja, so you can have some good insurance, ninja, so you can go see the dermatologist, as ninja, right? Got braille all on your skin, right? She touching all on your face, and she trying to read the braille, as ninja, right? So I mean, you can looks max to an extent, but if you just got, I mean, if you don't really have the gift of gab of looks, because a lot of men don't, right? Most men are average, but then you have definitely the below average, right? They can't really maximize their looks like that. Now I would say definitely, I mean, intelligence is more for you. Intelligence is more for you. That's for you to build out in the world. That's for you to be able to lead a woman and all of that stuff, right? So intelligence does matter. As far as having conversation, I mean, most of these chicks are bird brains. Drunk monk, nice smile goes far for. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Drunk monk said a word right there. Nice smile. Teeth is essential. Yep. Yep. Nice smile goes far. AF for woman. Yep. You know what I look at? You know what I look at? Two things, right? Outside of the looks, right? Outside of the looks. But even if she's not a looker, even if she's not a looker, these two things are very important, which could really, sway me as well. Now, if she's just average looking, right? This would have give it away for me. And I can probably take the bait. Teeth, nails. Teeth, nails. Tell me I'm wrong. That tells me everything I need to know. If I run into a broad and she has plaque all through her teeth, like she don't floss and all that, and I'm looking at her nails like outgrown, and it just don't look trim, and I like nails done, so I need to she need to have her nails done. Go get your nails done, baby. Like, what are you doing? Right? But even if they're not done, like as long as they're trimmed and nice and clean, you'll be amazed at how many chicks out here have dirty nails and they're not taking care one longer than the other one, like just out here like wildcats. But teeth and nails, like even if she's an average piece of cake, even if she's an average piece of cake, that smile if she's a five and she has a beautiful smile, that five would turn her into a 6.5. Right? Then her nails done and she, clean, nice and clean and all that. She smell good. That easily, right? And then if y'all go out or something, it's nothing to really touch up herself a little bit. So she'll go from a five. She'll really go from a five to around a 7.5. Really, right? She touch herself up nice. Really. Diesel Junkie said I'm faded and I can't stop watching the spinny thing. That's crazy. Ninjas out here geeking. Don't you got to go to work in the morning, Ninja? Young Cartier, Flossie every day. Yep. What a dentist told me, what my dentist told me, he said that actually flossing is more important than brushing. He said flossing is getting in between your teeth is more important than the actual brushing itself. Yeah, brush your teeth still, Ninja, but flossing is very important. Nick says, yeah, that spinning thing really pulls you in. I appreciate it. How we turned this chat into, we were talking about ninjas, right? We talking about jobs and economic growth as ninjas, right? People losing jobs and the economy on a downturn. How we get to this side of the spectrum? How we get to this side of the spectrum? With the nice, I lost 2K the past 2 years being nice. It's funny how all my finances are intact now that I'm not the nice guy. Yeah, don't be nice, man. Don't be nice. Forget all that nice junk. Forget all that being a good guy junk. That stuff is for losers. Losers are good guys. The good guys don't win. Now, I'm not saying be a evil person. Good guys, nice guys. Good guys, nice guys don't win. Let's get these likes up, man. We got 71 people in here. We floating from 71 to 80 people. Let's get the likes up, man, in here, man. But yeah, forget being nice. Karma, Finner. I think I recognize you, Karma. What's going on? Yeah, nice guys don't do nothing, man. Nice guys are pushovers. Nice guys don't want to put in no work. Nice guys think that, oh, other people are going to be nice to me. Nice guys think that, people are going to come to their defense. No, you out here on your own, Playboy. You have to draw your own sword on these ninjas. You want power, you want money, you want respect. You got to get out here and take it. And when I say take it, I mean put in that work. You're gonna have to get out here and put in that work. People don't want to put in that work. They think that the bosses is just gonna pick them for a promotion, right? They think that they're gonna get picked to move up in the ladder just because they nice, just because they out there bootlicking, right? The bootlickers the ones that get cast aside. They're gonna pick the ones who didn't bootlick. Right, while you bootlicking, you doing everything that they asked you to do. Right, they're gonna cast your ass right aside. Nope, you're not getting promoted because you're a bootlicker ass ninja. Right? They're gonna pick the ones who stay in the cut, right? They don't be listening, right? They don't do that great of a job, but he do the job, right? Those are the ninjas that they get promoted to be manager, right? While you think, oh, being a nice guy, being a good guy, let me just be a goody two shoe ass ninja, right? Nice ass ninja, angelic ass ninja, right? Heavenly ass ninja. I go to church every Sunday ass ninja, right? That's who you want to be, as ninja, right? That's who you want to be. Meanwhile, you're going to get stepped on. You're going to get your ass smashed out here. Listen, trust me. Take it from somebody who's been there. I've been there. I'm not just talking out my butt. Pause. I'm not just talking out my butt, right? I've been there, done that. I've been a nice guy. I've been the one that try to shake hands. I've been the one that try to bring people along. I've been the one to try to, get people up to speed. I've been the one to try to, be cordial with people. I've been the one to give my heart to people. I've been the one to wear my heart on my sleeve. I've been that guy, and that didn't get me anything. That didn't get me anything. Nothing. I learned lessons for sure. I've learned plenty lessons, but that didn't give me anything. That didn't do anything for me. That didn't do anything for me, right? It just made me colder. That's what it did. It made me colder, right? So now I'm a cold ass motherfucker. I don't care about none of that shit no more. It's time to grind. It's time to get it. I got mouths to feed. I got my own mouth to feed. I got things to do, places I want to be, people I need to see, right? That's how I'm coming. No one respects a nice guy, but it makes sense now though. Don't it make sense now? Don't it make sense? Diesel Junkie, put a super chat in the chat. You want me to answer your question? Put a super chat in the chat if you want me to answer your question. You've asked me a few questions. I let it slide. Drunk Mom said just be nonchalant. Yeah, I mean naturally I'm nonchalant. Naturally I'm nonchalant. Yeah, drunk monk. We almost at that. We almost at 100 viewers. They playing with me though. YouTube, come on, push it out some more. YouTube, let's go. Let's get it to 100. Right? It keep bouncing. It bouncing from 80 to 100. We already broke another record. Man, put another super chat. Put another super chat in here. We broke another record, man. We've had 84. We've had 84 constant viewers, concurrent viewers this whole most of the stream. Right? Let's clap it up, man. Somebody throw a super chat in here, man. We've had 84 concurrent viewers, right? We've held 80 concurrent viewers for the past 45 minutes to an hour. Come on, let's throw a super chat. That's a record for me, man. The after pill must be doing something right. Nick says we got more viewers on this chat than the average woman's body count. Yep. Look, ninjas want to leave. Let's bring him. Let's bring him down. Who this ninja? Look, ninjas always doing stuff. Ninjas always doing stuff. Like let's lead the chat so this ninja can stop celebrating ass ninja. Let's lead it. Let's bring him down to 70 ass ninja. Soon as a ninja starts celebrating, look, that's why you can't never celebrate. You can't never say nothing. Like ninja, oh, he at 80. Let me lead the chat. I'm gonna watch him on my other phone. Right? Let's watch him in private, ass ninja. Let's bring him down, ass ninja. Like, dang, what's wrong with these ninjas? Ninja just be watching. Ninja just be watching. But yeah, smash that like button. I appreciate everybody. But this is definitely a good stream. This is a record breaking stream, man. Let's clap it up, man. Let's clap it up. I gotta give myself a hand. I gotta give myself a hand for that one. I don't know if that's a clapping signal or what. I just threw something in there. By the way, after my own, I'm a have my own emojis soon. My own emojis, my own after pill emojis are going to be something you guys could interact with in a chat. Those are coming soon. Those are coming soon. Have my own emojis in there. After pill emojis. Look at the after pill. He reads every chat. Maybe a raid. What? See, ninjas always more. Why ninjas always talking? Why they always saying something weird in the chat? I don't understand you ninjas. I do not understand you ninjas. Like they talking about raids and all kinds of stuff. You got to be careful out here, man. And let me tell y'all something before we wrap it up, man. Like if you want to get in, if you want to get into the social media, if you want to get into the social media game, and I'm not even as big yet. I'm not even that big yet, right? We're definitely going to get there, but I'm not even that big yet, and I already see what's coming with it. I already see what's coming with it. You're gonna have to have some tough skin in this space. For those of you who want to be YouTubers, for those of you who want to have, a YouTube presence, a social media presence, this is not no joke. This is not no joke. Sometimes I get weird emails, right? You get weird messages through the email. You got weirdos who will come through the chat, and people will try to find your address. They'll try to dox you and all that kind of stuff. Y'all already seen a few streamers who get doxxed. That stuff is serious, man. And I've had some people who leaked my address, last year, right? So I don't know who it could have been. Somebody in my circle. It could have been somebody I worked with. It could have been anybody. I don't know. People, you never know who's watching you. Like we almost had 100 people in the chat. I'm almost at 9,000 subs. Soon enough, we'll be at 10,000. Right? I'm reaching hundreds of thousands of people every time I drop. Right? As far as impressions go, so you never know who is seeing your face. You never know who's watching you. You never know who a video is reaching. So for those of you guys who wants to get into the social media space, it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak minds, right? You definitely have to have some tough skin. I don't care. I got the skinny pop on me. I got a skinny pop on me. I got them big things. Pause, right? I got something to blow a ninja to China. You hear me? I got something that'll blow a ninja to Turkey. You hear me? I got something to blow you back outside the door, down the stairs, right? Blow you back to where you came from. But even despite that, you still gotta watch over your shoulder. You still gotta make sure, ninjas not, you get what I'm saying? Ninjas are weird. Men are weird, bro. Men are weird. Women are weird too. Everybody weirdos out here, but especially dudes out here, right? I see what these women be talking about. I see what some of these women be talking about. Y'all be out here like I know y'all be stalking them, trying to find out where they stay, right? You ninjas who bought OnlyFans purchasing ass ninjas. I know y'all be trying to see where they stay, trying to catch flights, trying to find out where she lived, trying to get into her house ass ninja, right? It was one chick that was actually they broke into her house, tied her up, and stole all her stuff. So you got female streamers who getting robbed too. So you got all this stuff going on. You ninjas are weird out here. And I understand we in hard times too. We in some hard economic times and ninjas getting hungry out here. So the wolves are coming to feast ass ninjas. So, I game recognize game. I understand what's going on out here, but listen, y'all keep that skinny pop on you if you media space. Best believe it, because people going to be trying to come after you, especially if they feel like you got some money. They know you making some money, right? They know you doing good for yourself. They listen. They're going to come and get you, right? They're gonna attempt to try to come and get you. So you got to keep things secure. I actually need to start putting this stream on a more secure stream. I need to start putting this stream on a more secure network, right? So I don't get any kind of weirdo doxes and all that kind of stuff. Got police knocking on my door, boom, boom, boom. Somebody kidnapped in their ass, ninja. Somebody kidnapped in their ass, ninja. They see my big black ass. Get your ass on the ground, ninja. What you doing, ninja? Yeah, somebody in here, ninja. Let's look around, ass ninja. Where your warrant at, officer? What warrant, ass? What warrant, ass ninja? What warrant? Nah, but anyway, I'm just joking. Moy, Moy says, you know, you can do so. Yeah, I know. But we gotta get a troll. We gotta get a trolls a little, get them a little, spotlight a little bit. I like exposing them. I got it. I like exposing them. You say, yeah, my videos, I don't show my face. Yeah, there's some big YouTubers that don't even do that. That don't do it. They hide their face the whole time and just talk. I know some people got, livelihoods that they don't want to expose themselves to and all that stuff, man. So yeah. But okay, man, it's getting late. It's 10:15 Central Standard Time. We've been on here almost 2 hours, just about 2 hours, about an hour and 30 minutes. I like to keep these streams, especially during the week. We got to keep them, nice and sweet, accurate and efficient. But we had a good time on this stream, man. We had a good time on this stream. I answered a few questions, right? More popping streams are coming, more discussions are coming, and I appreciate everybody who came through. Right, we were almost at 100, guys. We were almost at 100. We were almost at 100. We did break a record today. So shouts out to everybody who showed up. Shouts out to everybody who watched the stream, concurrently. Right. Shouts out to all of y'all, man. We going up. We going up. Definitely going up. The streams are getting bigger. Right. More people coming through. Drunk Monk says, tap, we hit 94, 96. We were almost there. YouTube could have gave me that little, they could have threw me the layup, but they didn't give me the layup. You heard me talking to YouTube. I said, hey, YouTube, push this into the algorithm, YouTube. Push this into the algorithm so they see what's going on, YouTube. They tried to give it to me. They tried to give it to me a little bit, but we're gonna get there. We definitely gonna get there. So I appreciate everybody coming through. Shouts out to Moy. Shouts out to Blake. Shouts out to JC. Shouts out to Drunk Monk. Shouts out to Cartier. Shouts out to Nick. Right? Shouts out to everybody who came through. Who else I'm missing? Who else I'm missing? I'm missing some of my main folks. I know I'm missing somebody. I said Cartier, of course, Moy. JC. Shouts out to JC. Shouts out to everybody that super chatted. All right. Shouts out to on Bebop. Shouts out to everybody. I'm just scrolling through trying to make sure I ain't miss nobody. If I did miss you, it's all love. I'm talking to my main people right now. Shouts out to all the members, right? Shouts out to everybody who came through. It's all love, and let's keep on growing. Let's keep on making these videos. Let's keep on having these discussions, and man, before you know it, the after pill going worldwide. So I and make sure y'all have a good night and y'all stay safe out there. And this is truly an after pill. He said someone from Ukraine also. Shouts out to Ukraine, man. I know y'all going through a lot over there. Shouts out to Ukraine. Appreciate everybody. Shouts out to Ukraine. Shouts out to everybody, really. The Americans, broke ninjas, little ninjas, tall ninjas, short ninjas, black ninjas, white ninjas, Asian ninjas, Korean ninjas, African booty scratching ass ninjas, right? Shouts out to all y'all ninjas. I'll see y'all on the next stream. Peace.